It used to be that if you were up against the Department of Justice for the United States of America, you knew you were going to be outmatched with resources and personnel. You told your clients that. You said, listen, we're just one firm. They're the government. They are mindless. They work around the clock with unlimited budget. Well, those days are over, because Trump Department of Justice personnel are trying to cry on the shoulder of federal judges to tell them that one of the reasons they're not able to properly respond to a lawsuit, and there's 95 of them that have been filed in the first 35 days against the Trump administration, is because they don't have enough people. They don't have enough personnel. They're working round the clock. It's so sad, Judge. Except I've never known federal judges to be that compassionate. Smart, prepared, qualified, yes. Empathetic and compassionate, that's not a federal judge. And so when it burst out into the open that one of the casualties of the Elon Musk cost-cutting and axing and the Department of Justice getting rid of all of its career FBI and Department of Justice prosecutors, one of the byproducts of that is that they're not able to do their job and properly staff the 95 cases. And that came up during a court hearing in federal court. It made my heart sing, because finally there's parity between those suing the government and the government. I never thought I'd see the day. Congratulations, Donald Trump. You're making winning easy. I'm Michael Popok. This isn't easy, but I'm glad you're here. It's Legal AF, the YouTube channel. Let me break it all down for you. There is a record-setting pace at which lawsuits are being filed against this administration, because there is a record-setting pace at how depraved and nuts and crazy this administration is. When you issue 50 or 60 executive orders, you're bound to get several lawsuits per executive order filed against you. Normally, when I talk about 100 in the beginning of a presidency, it's about what they've accomplished or not within the first 100 days. What I get to talk about is 100 lawsuits, 95, 100 lawsuits filed in 35 days against the administration. We're well on our way to 3 a day, which I said would happen from now until Donald Trump finally leaves office. But the reason that we had miscalculated as court watchers and people that practice the law, we thought, well, they learned a lot. It's like artificial intelligence. They learned a lot from the last time they were president, right? They'll figure out how to do better with coloring inside the lines with their executive orders. They won't be so unconstitutional or illegal in their conduct. There's more Trump judges now. We won't have as great a success. This was all conversations I was having with people affiliated with Legal AF recently. And I was like, I don't know about that. I think you have to balance that off against Donald Trump being crazier, being more bold in his violations of the Constitution. That's what he learned from things like finding out that he can't commit a crime as a president because the Supreme Court says he can't. And so when you take that and you issue 60 executive orders, most of which are batshit, you know what, mad as a hatter, you're going to lead to, a couple of lawsuits per executive order, which is where we're at right now. That's 90, that's 100. So what has happened? So then I would normally say, well, that's all right. They're going to spend a lot of taxpayer dollars defending these ridiculous positions, these unconstitutional, wholly depraved positions in court. Turns out that the axe man is at work. DOJ and Elon Musk and Pam Bondi has got to be held responsible, because when you fire hundreds and hundreds of career prosecutors and FBI agents and you don't replace them, because you don't want to replace them and you can't replace them in that short amount of time. What does that mean? That means the lights are on, but nobody's home. Let me just do a visual. You ever been to one of those good old fashioned bricks and mortars department stores that it's like on its last week because it's liquidating? It used to be a place that was really fun and, back in the 90s and 2000s that you like shopping in. But now you go in now and it looks like Soviet Union circa 1979, the shelf, you're looking for flesh-eating zombies around the corner. Lighting is bad. That one light bulb is flickering on and off. There's nothing on the shelf. The floors are dirty. The people there, they bust them in to work. They don't want to be there and they let you know it. That's like the Department of Justice right now, apparently. And it burst out in a hearing of all places. And not even apropos of anything that was being asked. The judge didn't say, hey, are you having some problems because you're understaffed? Like this would be if I was a Department of Justice personnel, this shows you how bad it is. People resigning. We just had one of the press secretaries, communications directors for the Department of Justice says, I can't work in the toxic environment. I'm out. And that was a career person. And that person isn't even a daily prosecutor. So now we fast forward to Judge Chang. I like Judge Chang. He's in Maryland. He's handling one of the many U.S. AID cases, where Donald Trump tried to cut the fuel line to billions of dollars of humanitarian aid around the world, which we used as part of our diplomacy, to keep people, yes, safe and healthy, but also keep them out of the hands of the Chinese and of the Russians. Well, there was a hearing about some facts that were submitted to the judge, the trier of fact. Judges are picky this way. They like to have facts submitted to them in a proper way in a federal court, like a sworn affidavit or declaration or testimony, some sort of evidence that supports a position. Call them kooky, but they like evidence. And the Judge Chang wasn't getting it. Like you say Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, approved something. All right. Where's the piece of paper from Marco Rubio that says that? In other words, you can't just make a naked representation to me in court. Why? In other words, ma'am or sir, why is what you've submitted to the court so woefully lacking in substance? Like, why is it so deficient? This led this lawyer, which, kudos to somebody telling the truth. This is the old joke about a Freudian slip in Washington. It's where a politician accidentally tells the truth. This Department of Justice attorney accidentally told the truth. So the judge says, why do we get this is from the recent hearing. Why do we get a declaration from the head of the USAID, Peter Morocco, but there's no documentation of anything there? Morocco says he was instructed by Marco Rubio, Secretary Rubio. Okay, where's the email from Secretary Rubio then? And the lawyer responds, I've been in this situation where a judge says, Mr. Popok, not often. Where is I'd like to see an affidavit from X, Y, and Z. Where is it? Why isn't it here? Why isn't this person in my courtroom right now so I can make this decision? You don't start with, I haven't had a day off in weeks, Judge. You can see where this is going to go. But this lawyer decides to do the following. I think it's important, Judge, that everyone understands. Oh, here we go. The context here. Since January 20th, we have received approximately 80 lawsuits, and our staff at the Justice Department's federal programs has been cut in half. By the way, it's 95 lawsuits. We have about half the number of staff that we had in November. What happened in November again? Oh, right. The Biden administration had a transition to the Trump administration. Right. And we're working on these expedited schedules. Judge cuts her off. Morocco could have provided more. It wouldn't have taken extra work on your part to seek more documentation. And if it's really a decision by USAID, there should be a piece of paper. I'm approving this. Why don't we have that? And you would think that the lawyer would take the hint at this point and not double down on, I haven't had time off since January. But instead, here's what the lawyer said. I'm not trying to be obsequious. We're doing the best we can to get as much information as possible. Like, give us a break, Judge. We're working for an administration that doesn't value me, doesn't fund me, doesn't fund my Department of Justice properly, and I don't have any colleagues left to go to lunch with. The judge says, are you saying that the Justice Department isn't taking this case seriously? That they're not staffing it sufficiently? Now, let me give you a little bit of an aside in color. Nothing is going to get you on the wrong side of a federal judge faster, really any judge faster, than leaving the impression, intentional or not, that you don't care about the judge, the court, the resources, their decision-making, and you're wasting their time. This will put you in a hole of your own making. It will be very difficult for you to climb out of. And the lawyer finally hears it, but then wants to continue to argue about the staffing issue and says, it's the opposite. I haven't had a day off since January 20th. The sobbing is my interpretation. So we're working day and night. And the judge ends it this way. I understand that. They're cutting people across the government. That's why we're here. If you're saying you don't have enough people, maybe that's part of the problem. I mean, if USAID, which is one of hundreds of agencies and bureaus with the government, can't respond to lawsuits because of this lack of people and funding, maybe they need more people. Yeah, maybe they need more people. I never thought I would, in my lifetime, I would be doing any kind of analysis or commentary or having a discussion in which the Department of Justice, formerly have been one of the finest, if not the finest, Justice Department in the world, with effectively unlimited resources and personnel, would ever say out loud in a court, we don't have enough people, we don't have enough funding. I never thought I would see the parity. I tell clients when they hire me for federal cases and we're up against the Department of Justice, I'd say, listen, let me tell you straight. Here's how I think we're going to win the case. But we're outnumbered, we're outmatched, we're out-resourced. There is a information asymmetry. They know everything. We don't know anything. And mainly this is in criminal cases, but you get the point. Now, if I'm the attorneys general, if I'm the inspectors general, if I'm the public interest groups, if I'm the non-governmental organizations, all bringing these lawsuits, 95 of them, I'm emboldened by that. And believe me, there's a clearinghouse among all these lawyers. They're all talking. And I just put my foot on the gas pedal. I put the pedal to the metal, right? I hit them with more. This says to me, more lawsuits, not less, right? 100 now, 120 by next week. 3 a day, go to 4 a day, because the gurgling sound you hear is the Department of Justice personnel, because Donald Trump only takes seriously his own cases. He was going through $30 million a month burn rate to pay for his private defense lawyers. I mean, he didn't pay for it. He used it in fundraising and for a grift. So we're going to continue to follow this amazing turn of affairs. Donald Trump is I'll give him this. He has a superpower. He's united the world against the United States. All right. I never thought I'd see Europe more cohesive, more collaborative, more working together domestically, foreign policy wise and economically than in the Trump administration. Right? I never thought I'd see Canada so emboldened. I never thought I'd see Mexico and Claudia Sheinbaum rise to the public stage and become a leader of the free world. Kudos to Donald Trump. I never thought I'd see the Department of Justice be on its back foot in litigating cases where it usually has unlimited personnel and resources. Congratulations. It's a tremendous superpower. You shrunk the Department of Justice down so small that it's going to drown in a bathtub. I'm Michael Popok, continuing to report right here on Legal AF. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button. See me on all things Legal AF here and on the Midas Touch Network. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.